Welcome to expaTView, where we're all about knowing and growing expat women. My name is Brice, and I'm co-hosting with Renee Lederman from our living room to yours. We all know how terribly important women's support groups and communities and social networks are all over the world to all women. So how can we as expats take advantage of these, or even create them when they don't exist? How can we also dispel some of those negative myths around women's groups that may discourage the very women who need them the most from actually participating? Today we're joined by Joanne Hughes, who is the International Connections of Houston current president, and she's also been an expat in different parts of Europe. Welcome, Joanne.
Thank you for inviting me to be here today.
You're welcome. And we've also have Gidley here. Now, Apple has lived in about 12 different countries. She's a writer. She was also the British Honorary Consul in Equatorial Guinea, and she serves on the board for the Families and Global Transition Organisation, which is a wonderful global organisation. Welcome, Apple.
Thank you very much.
So, Joanne, tell us, what made you get involved with the International Connections of Houston, and how has this organisation grown and changed over the years?
When I first moved to Houston a couple of years ago, a friend of mine invited me to join, to accompany her to a meeting of International Connections of Houston. And I went with her, and I just felt welcome from the very beginning. And so I joined that day and have been involved with it from the beginning. And it gave me something to do, a reason to get out of the house, and it helped ease my transition back into the United States, because we've been abroad for quite a while. How it began was a chance meeting between an HR executive or professional who was involved with repatriation issues and a career expat who had just returned from, this was her third trip to Houston, and they saw a need and came together in, I think they first met in December of '98, and the first meeting of ICH was in April of '99. They started out having monthly meetings and tours, and it's evolved over time to now we have monthly meetings, and we also have activities that our members participate in either monthly. We have some that are weekly, some that are monthly, some that are quarterly, and that's what we do. And we involved as many people as we can.
So how many people are in the organisation?
At the end of December, we had 284 members.
Wow,
which
so
is great.
You're really showing that you're holding them there.
We're holding them together, yeah.
So what are the major strengths of any successful expat organisation, large or small?
I think the organization has to maintain relevance to its members. We have to provide to the needs and to the interests of the current membership and continue to evolve. Like, for example, we have, I think 33% of our members are people who've lived in Houston for 1 to 3 years, and 33% of our members have lived here for over 5 years. And each of those groups has diverse needs and interests, and as long as that we can provide things that are relevant to both of them, then we'll continue to be successful as an organization.
Absolutely. Give people what they really want in there.
Exactly.
Wonderful. So, Apple, you've had a really long journey. Like you mentioned, something like 50 years, I think, or some long time. So how is your journey helping women globally and supporting them? How has that started, and where has it led?
I had a very good role model in that my mother was wonderful whenever we moved somewhere new. She would jump right in, and so I've always done that. A couple of postings we've had without any support of any kind, and it's been very difficult. And so the whole journey really has been through different women's groups in 12 different countries. I was part of ICH with Joanne, and that's led me to Families and Global Transition, which is a truly global organisation, and tries to encourage people, the people who send us overseas, are not always aware of what our needs are as an expatriate, and this is what we try to get across. And it's a multi-sector organisation. We have the military, the diplomatic corps, the missions, corporate, of course, and NGOs. So it is truly all-encompassing. And there's a conference every year. This year it's in Washington, D.C. in March. Come and join us.
So you started really small and obviously worked into this major organisation that you're working with now. So if we think back to the women themselves and the viewers probably, what do you think are your concerns for the expat women themselves, the ones who don't get involved in these kind of groups?
I think it's very easy to become very isolated in a new posting. There's a lot going on, a lot of the practical things are going on, getting the children organised, And then you suddenly sit back and think, what about me? How am I going to get out? And taking that first step out the door can be incredibly difficult sometimes if you don't have somewhere to go or someone to go with, as Joanne did. And so it's vitally important that there is a support group there, and even if there isn't, start your own. Do what you guys are doing. You know, start something. It's wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you. Renee?
Joanne, what can spouses do to empower themselves?
I think that is a really good question. I know when we first moved to Portugal, and it was the first time I was anywhere where I was the only native English speaker around, and I didn't know what to do. Like Apple said, you know, getting out of the house. And I invited the parents of my son's classmates over for coffee or tea in the morning. And we had a group, our own informal women's group for the last 8 years of our posting.
And it sounds like this group that you started, it sounds like it was very supportive.
It was great. You know, we supported each other, but the one thing we had in common was we had children the same age, which gave us a natural, you know, cohesiveness. But it was wonderful. It made life living there so much nicer.
Right, you didn't have the isolation.
No, and we also, it makes the expatriate husband who's going to work every day a lot more successful in his posting because the family's happy, the spouse is happy, and we take care of all of the care and feeding of the life in a foreign country, and they're successful in their job.
So that's really true. When mom is happy, everybody's happy.
Pretty much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Apple, is it really true? Do you really feel that there is some type of negative image or perception around these support groups?
Absolutely. People have a misconception that it's a whole bunch of women sitting together gossiping, and it's not true. You know, obviously there's a bit of chit-chat goes on, but on the whole, women support women extraordinarily well. It doesn't matter where they are from around the world, or whether it's a whole bunch of different nationalities in together. It's vital.
So it sounds like that when you're a member of these support groups, you have a sense of family, community, and a sense that you belong.
Absolutely, yes. And without that, so many assignments are compromised because, like we said earlier, you know, if the family's not happy, then it's not going to work.
Thank you for sharing that.
Pleasure.
Participating in the groups, having the support, not being isolated, sounds like it's something that really, really makes everybody, the whole family, the organization. So it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
No, it's vital.
Thank you both ladies.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today. And if you'd like to get more information about our guest, and if you'd like to help our global sisters at Kiva, please visit us on our website at the expaTView.com. We'd also like to invite you to join us on our Facebook page. What I'd like for you to do, we really want to interact with you more. So what I'd like for you to do is to just tell me, you can write me, or just let us know what support groups that you have participated in that's been really helpful for you. Next week, we're going to be talking to Miriam. She's a vocal trainer and she works with women and people all around the world, helping them with their communication skills. Her student Luz will also join us. Thank you again for joining us today from our living room to yours.